Lost media. We love to see it, and we love to learn about it. The vast spectrum that the label Lost Media umbrellas provides me with a large area of focus of topics to cover. In the last video, Top 10 Strangest Pieces of Lost Media, I covered a broad spectrum of lost media including specific movies, video games, and PSAs. However, I figured for this video, we could delve a bit more into a specific genre of lost media, which also tends to be the most popular, that being lost films. Now don't worry, some of the more obscure genres such as music, PSAs, and even artwork will eventually be talked about, just not in this video. Fair warning, these movies are lost for a reason. By that I mean, once again, I'm going to have to place a content warning on the video. As I normally do, I will save these for the ending entries on the list, so you can still enjoy the rest of the video. But fair warning, there are several of the entries here that get pretty dark. The following topics listed on the screen will be talked about in detail, so if either of these offend you, it might be best to just click off of the video. With that being said, and in no particular ranking order, let's get right into the list. Number 1. Omnom The Movie. Starting on our list, we have Omnom The Movie, which was a late 2016 said-to-be-released movie based on the popular mobile game Cut the Rope. Other than the movie poster seen at the beginning of this list, and once again shown here, the only other thing known about this film is that Zeptolab, the creators of the original mobile game, partnered with Blockade Entertainment to make the film. It's not even known if the movie was cancelled, as Blockade website no longer has the movie listed. However, several news articles do confirm the film's existence. Interestingly, Blockade is sort of known for this, as another film the company claims to be in production with is Sly Cooper, based off of the PlayStation 3 game, and was said to be released in 2016, but has never been released or really even talked about since its 2016 release date. The official synopsis says the following. Omnom tells the story of a 13-year-old boy named Evan, whose impulsiveness leads him to open a secret passage containing a living scientific experiment with mischievous intentions. Known only as Omnom, this adorable creature has an insatiable appetite for everything sugary. Now free to roam, Omnom begins to wreak havoc upon the formerly quiet town, and Evan, with his little sister Jordan in tow, must follow him on an epic adventure while avoiding a host of government agents, shady characters, and other unique creatures, all of whom are looking to capture Omnom for themselves. Along the way, Evan and Omnom will discover the importance of trust and patience, and how life's accidents can sometimes lead to incredible discoveries and unforgettable moments. Number 2. The Legend of Spyro 3D. In October of 2007, the animation picture company obtained the film rights to the Spyro series from Activision, with Mark A.Z. Dipp set as a director and producer, Daniel and Steven Altieri set to write the script, and a company known as Velvet Octopus set to do the advertising and distribute alongside Universal Pictures. The Legend of Spyro 3D was set to be a CGI animated film adaptation of the Legend of Spyro the Dragon video game series. With a release date of December 2009 and an eventual pushback of April 10th, 2010, it's no surprise that the movie was cancelled in favor of Activision's new direction for the series, which was later revealed to be the Skylanders series. Other than the plot surfacing online and a mock-up poster for the movie, no footage from the movie has ever been seen. The plot of the film followed the film opening with the main villain of the movie, the Dark Master, using his forces to destroy a temple housing a dragon egg, who is prophesized to stop him from conquering the world. The dragon inside the egg is said to be an extremely rare purple dragon, only being born every 10 years. Ignitus, the egg's guardian, saves the unborn dragon by sending him down a river, eventually landing him in the home of a family of dragonflies. Spyro finds out he is adopted years after this, after an attack on his home leads him to seek truths about who he is. The young dragonfly Sparks accompanies Spyro on his journey to rescue dragons and attempt to defeat the Dark Master. Along their journey, they meet Cinder, a black dragon with a red crystal around her neck, which forces her to do the Dark Master's bidding. The movie ends with Spyro learning the true identity of Cinder, destroying the red crystal, freeing her, and releasing the dead from the Dark Master's imprisonment. Though the film was set to release Christmas 2009, the film was delayed to April of 2010. No news of this movie surfaced during the pushback timeframe, and was later revealed that the film would be cancelled in favor of Skylanders Spyro's Adventure, released in 2011. Number 3. My Best Friend's Birthday. If I were to ask you to tell me Quentin Tarantino's first movie, you would probably respond with Reservoir Dogs. And you would technically be right. However, while its existence is still unconfirmed, a movie called My Best Friend's Birthday, said to be a black and white comedy co-written by Craig Hammond, is also co-written, directed by, and starring Quentin Tarantino, and is speculated to wanting to be released between 1984 and 1987. The project began as Hammond's accumulation of a 30 to 40 page script. The plot involved a man wanting to do something for his friend's birthday, only for his efforts to hilariously backfire. When Tarantino attached himself to the project, the script length jumped to 80 pages in length and obtained a budget of $5,000. The film over the next several years would be shot on a 16mm reel. Only 36 minutes out of the original 70 minutes of rough cut from the film exists online, with conflicting information regarding the whereabouts or even existence of this remaining footage. The most commonly thought information about the condition of the footage is that it was destroyed in a lab fire. Though it is unknown where the story originated, it has been disproven. Rand Voslett, a producer who supposedly worked on the film, claims that the lab fire story is completely false. He writes in his book, My Best Friend's Birthday, the making of a Quentin Tarantino film. The fire never happened. We did lose some footage, but the fire never happened. When we processed the initial batch of footage at Hollywood Film Enterprises, there was a power outage. Approximately 1.5 reels of our original footage were destroyed, but there wasn't a lab fire. That was completely fabricated, but that was back when Quentin embellished his stories a little bit. To back this up, Quentin Tarantino has spoken on the subject himself and said this. Yeah, a lab fire didn't destroy the movie. A couple of rolls were destroyed. I don't remember specifically how many, whether it was 2 or 4 or 6. Frankly, if they hadn't destroyed these rolls, I probably wouldn't have ever had the money to get the film out of the lab. They had destroyed so many rolls, they actually gave us a discount. Now, for the record, I never actually said that the movie was destroyed in a fire. That just became part of the whole mythology of the film. I started reading it in biographies, and I figured, why not just go along with it? It was an interesting story, so I never corrected it. Tarantino says the footage does exist somewhere, however, claiming it's in his storage, even showing interest in the idea that he may one day finish it. As of now, however, it remains lost, with the hopes of many that he will release the original footage. Number 4. Gutsy Frog. Gutsy Frog was a 2013 live-action American remake television movie based off of the Japanese manga anime series Dokonjo Gairu. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Very little is known about this movie, aside from several sources, including the movie's IMDb page, indicating Frankie Jonas and Misha Burton were to play characters in the movie. According to IMDb, the plot went something like this. A frog is hopping in an empty lot when middle schooler Frankie trips over a rock and squashes him. However, the frog is reborn as imprint on the front of Frankie's shirt, and now gives him advice and commentary on his life. The film has likely been cancelled at this point, though it is still a possibility it was released and even aired in some regions. How much of this movie exists is completely unknown. There is, however, visual proof that the film was in production at some point, that being the following image of 2 actors behind the scenes with their doubles. Number 5. Firelight. Firelight is a 135-minute science fiction film from 1964, and was directed by Steven Spielberg, being his 3rd directorial effort and released independently. If you've plotted out the timeline already, you probably have realized that Steven Spielberg was actually 17 years old when he made this film. The film was said to be the inspiration of his 1977 feature, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. The film had a budget of $500 and was publicly screened once at his local Arizona theater, selling around 500 tickets at $1 a piece, except for one audience member who actually was kind enough to pay double, meaning that the box office gross of the movie is a single dollar, making it profitable. The movie centers around a group of scientists in the fictional town of Freeport, Arizona, who witness strange lights in the sky before a plethora of bizarre disappearances take place, including animals, humans, and inanimate objects alike. The film touts a twist ending, that being 3 aliens represented by shadows, descending on the Earth, revealing their plans to abduct the whole town for the purpose of creating a human zoo back on their home planet of Altairus. While job hunting in LA, Spielberg supposedly lent 2 of his master reels of the film to a producer to showcase his abilities, but 1 week later, the company in question went completely bankrupt, with the reels never being returned. To this day, they remain missing, but are somewhere still out there. Only a few pieces of this footage remain, and are all online. Number 6, Garfield's Judgment Day. Garfield's Judgment Day was a canceled animated movie-length special that was supposed to air in the late 80s and early 90s. Jim Davis, the creator, wanted this to be the best Garfield special, involving much more serious themes than the previous specials. Mainly, this involved a tornado destroying his hometown. Surprisingly, Disney Studios was the company working on it. The special was fully scripted and fully storyboarded. All of the voice acting and an estimated 15 worth of the animation were completed with a soundtrack before it was canceled by Disney, feeling that the script matter was far too dark for Garfield. Davis tried 2 more times to script the special, but the studio showed no interest both times. The story was incorporated into a picture book of the same name, however, in July of 1990. No footage has ever resurfaced, except for the documentary titled Happy Birthday Garfield, which aired on CBS in 1988, featuring a sneak preview of the special. Number 7, Bill Cosby 77. Bill Cosby 77 is an unreleased 2014 Netflix original stand-up comedy special starring comedian Bill Cosby, and was filmed before a live studio audience at the San Francisco Jazz Center in California on the 12th of July, 2014, the day of Cosby's 77th birthday. It contained, according to a brief description from Netflix, wisdom and hilarious insights about Cosby's childhood, first lives, and parenthood. However, on November 17, 2014, celebrity Janice Dickinson added her name to the list of women Cosby had allegedly assaulted. Hours later, Netflix announced their decision to delay Bill Cosby 77, only stating, "At this time, we're postponing the launch of the new stand-up comedy special Bill Cosby 77. Netflix Chief Content Officer Ted Sarandos confirmed Netflix had canceled the special, stating, "Yeah, I don't think it's appropriate to release that. Because of this, no footage exists." Number 8, partially deleted scenes from Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. Before the theatrical premiere of the 1994 comedy movie starring Jim Carrey, director Tom Shaddix removed several scenes from the film, most of which were restored in their entirety when the movie aired on television. However, there were some scenes from these deleted scenes already that were still removed from the original cut due to their heavy content and disturbing nature. These include the following: a scene where, after returning Rebecca Ferrati's dog, she goes down on Ace, and the two eventually have sex, with several stills being shown here, what I could put on YouTube. Ventura goes back to his hometown and asks a gas station attendant for direction. However, he had just interrupted the attendant from putting a barrel of a shotgun into his mouth, attempting to commit suicide. Ace later in the scene would call Melissa from a telephone booth, only to see paramedics wheeling a gurney out of the station he had just come out of, with a man covered in a white sheet and a bloodstain on the head area. Number 9, 10 Things I Hate About Life.
What are you doing here?
Stalking You.
10 Things I Hate About Life is an unfinished romantic comedy film which served as a potential spin-off of the 1999 classic 10 Things I Hate About You. The movie was directed by Gil Younger and was set to release in 2014, with a series of setbacks causing the film to never be released. No official plot has ever been released, however it is assumed it would have followed the plot of the book, with a young man and woman meeting each other and falling in love, right when they're about to kill themselves at the same location. The experience causes them to both bond, going through typical ups and downs of a relationship. Haley Atwell was supposed to play the lead, but eventually the role changed to Evan Rachel Wood, with Thomas McDonnell as her co-star. On February 26, 2013, In Tandem Films CEO Gary Smith stepped down, putting the production to a halt. Evan Rachel Wood would become pregnant, causing further delays. However, a 30-minute cut of the film was shown to the American film market in 2013. Where it was released, Evan Rachel Wood would still be the main actress. The movie received mixed reception at this, and eventually Wood would leave the production in 2014. A potential lawsuit was actually filed against the actress for breaking her contract, but never went anywhere. With no funding left and no attempts being made to recast the people who had left, the film was canceled. The only thing which remained from the movie are the official trailer, production photos, and a single poster. Number 10. Black the Ripper. For context, around this time, many movies starring black actors were released in order to appeal African American urban audiences and were nicknamed blaxploitation, with the resulting films being celebrated today for their freedom to show off a uniquely black point of view. Many were independently produced on small budgets, generally lacking mainstream marketability. Black the Ripper is an alleged blaxploitation horror film, which may have been released around 1974 through 1976, and were based off the killings of Jack the Ripper. It was thought that Frank Salatri, writer of Blackenstein, may have been the director. However, the production is shrouded in mystery. With the extremely obscure nature of the film, it cannot be confirmed if it is finished production or even saw a theatrical release. The movie was first mentioned on a brief note in May of 1974 on an issue of Variety magazine, which named Salatri in a cast of mainly unknown actors, and said that the movie was in 2 months' worth of production. The said Memorial Day release never happened, and the movie had long since been forgotten about until 2013 when a user on an obscure film website claimed to have seen it once while browsing torrent files. Those who have claimed to see it say it was hastily put together with many missing scenes. There is an opening credit scene over a song credited to Mara Farmer, but no end credits. The plot of the movie is still unconfirmed, but it is said to have opened in a karate studio where a character named Mike is training his students. A phone call interrupts the training when a student informs Mike he will not be in due to his sister being murdered, disclosing that he had told his sister not to go to an ex-pimp named Sideback. Mike takes the investigation into his own hands when the police become no help to him. As he is asking a prostitute for help on the murder case, a voice from off-screen is heard calling his name, and Sideback appears. A fight breaks out, with both of them being arrested and sent to jail, but are cleared when another murder occurs. The rest of this movie is just really weird, and a full plot synopsis can be found in the link below, though I will warn you, it's disturbing. If you are interested in some of this content, however, it is an interesting read. The existence of this movie has yet to be confirmed, with only a few people being able to claim its existence. No one tied to the production has ever come forward. At its best, it seems to have been hastily put together, or perhaps salvaged from being initially scrapped, for a possible minor local release, and was simply, by the director's wishes, not worthy of preservation. And there's the list. Thank you so much for making it through the whole video, and I thoroughly hope you enjoyed watching. If you got as much enjoyment as I did researching this, be sure to like and subscribe to my channel, as I tend to focus on this sort of lost media content. For updates on video releases, here is a link to my Twitter where I post updates on videos for those who follow it, allowing you a sneak peek at future videos, so if that interests you, feel free to follow it. With that being said, I am Wasted Media, and keep digging.